quando tramonta la luna riporta con sé. Ah, io continuo a sognare negli occhi tuoi belli, che sono blu come un cielo trapunto di stelle. Volare, oh, cantare, oh, oh, oh.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley and I'm currently living in Utah with my husband, who I started traveling the world with 3 years ago. I started this channel because I'm an artist working in corporate tech and wanted to better document the moments where I feel the most like myself. In this video, I'll be taking you through our 3-day itinerary from Florence, Italy, which was the second leg of a larger Italy trip we took last fall. If you love travel, art, are a sensitive soul, or just love beautiful things in general, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching today's video. My best advice to anyone planning a multi-city trip in Europe is to romanticize the train. We've found that the few hours of quiet, watching the scenery pass through the windows, can be some of the most ambient, present moments of the trip. I take location and accommodations super seriously, and for our first time in Florence, chose to stay super central, just a few steps from the Piazza della Repubblica. This view from our Airbnb was well worth the 15 minutes of pacing in front of the building door, waiting for our host to message back in broken English. After checking in, we walked across the piazza to Mercato del Porcellino, a daily leather and souvenir market held under the iconic Loggia del Mercato Nuovo. This famous open-air market's name translates to Market of the Little Piglet, in honor of this statue whose snout gets daily good luck rubs from both tourists and locals. Just a short 500-meter walk from the market stands the iconic and breathtaking Duomo. Started in 1296, Florence's Duomo took over 140 years to build, finally finished and crowned by Brunelleschi's revolutionary dome. After taking some pictures and soaking it in, we walked behind the Duomo to the Opera del Duomo Museum. Just steps behind the back of the Florence Cathedral, this massive museum houses original artworks that once decorated the outside and inside of the Duomo, Baptistery, and bell tower. Must-see masterpieces inside include the original gold Baptistery doors by Lorenzo Ghiberti, Donatello's Penitent Magdalene, and my absolute favorite, Michelangelo's Pietà. Michelangelo's Bandini Pietà, also known as the Deposition, is incredibly special because it is one of his most deeply personal, dramatic, and unfinished masterpieces. Sculpted when he was in his late 70s, Michelangelo originally intended this piece for his own tomb. In a striking self-portrait, he carved his own face onto the hooded figure of Nicodemus, who is shown gently holding up the body of Christ. But out of pure frustration with a flawed block of marble in his own aging hands, Michelangelo actually attacked a sculpture with a hammer, breaking off parts of Christ's limbs before his servants stopped him and saved the piece. After a late lunch and another gelato overlooking the Duomo, we stretched our legs to climb the 414 steps to the top of Giotto's bell tower. If you are planning a trip to Florence, pack some comfortable shoes because this trek is worth every single step. Lots of travelers recommend climbing the bell tower rather than the Duomo itself, and I agree, because at the top not only do you get these sweeping views, but you also have the perfect view of the dome itself. Right before we headed back down, the hour hit as we listened to and watched all the church bells in Florence ring right as the sun was setting. Back at the piazza, we joined the crowd gathered around this incredible street performer. His voice was running through our minds the rest of the trip, and this song has become the mental soundtrack that plays when I think back to this perfect day.
Che sono blu come un cielo trapunto di stelle. Volare, oh, cantare, oh, 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 nel blu degli occhi tuoi blu.
My favorite thing about our Airbnb is that we could open these gorgeous windows and listen to the sounds of the piazza all while laying in bed. I remember hanging out the balcony window with a glass of wine, watching the crowds and listening to the vendors and performers below. Heading out one last time, we grabbed dinner, talked about our favorite parts of the day, and moseyed back to the Duomo, where we were taken away by the atmosphere of this guitarist and all the beauty we've been wrapped in. At this point, one day in, it's easy to say that Florence had absolutely stolen my heart. The next morning, we woke up for the short walk to our early entry at the Medici Chapel, the ultra-luxurious marble-clad mausoleum built by the Medici family, who basically funded the entire Renaissance and ruled Florence for centuries. You'll start in this massive Chapel of the Princes, which is covered floor-to-ceiling in dark, precious stones. We've been to a lot of chapels in Europe, and I've never seen one like this. Next, you'll walk into the new Sacristy, which was designed entirely by Michelangelo himself to house the family tombs. What most people don't know about this place is that hidden directly beneath the chapel floor is Michelangelo's secret room. Back in 1530, Michelangelo actually betrayed the Medici by supporting a rebellion against them, and when they retook the city, he had to go into hiding from a death sentence. He spent 3 months trapped in a tiny windowless coal cellar right under this chapel, using charcoal to sketch massive drawings all over these walls just to keep from losing his mind. I was so bummed we couldn't score tickets to go down there, but if you're planning a trip, definitely add this to your itinerary. Right next door to the chapel is the bustling Mercato Centrale, which we stopped by before we could pick up much of an appetite. While we didn't get much to eat, we loved exploring the different stalls and vendors, and I picked up some jewelry for my mom and sisters from the stalls outside the market. This next stop I don't think qualifies as a hidden gem anymore, but as soon as I found out about it, I knew it belonged in our itinerary. Housed inside a historic 1920s cinema, Giunti Odeon is one of the most stunning and unique bookstores in the world. Rather than gutting the original architecture, they preserved the theater's grand balconies, velvet seats, and stained glass dome, filling the main floor with curated bookshelves. It's the ultimate cultural sanctuary where you can grab a coffee, browse for books, and still watch classic films projected on the massive screen above the displays. We absolutely love this place, cannot recommend it enough, and sat in the chairs with our choice books for a good hour and a half. After an 11-minute stroll, we found ourselves at the legendary Ponte Vecchio, which is easily one of the most iconic sites in all of Florence. This historic stone bridge has survived since medieval times and is packed with gold and jewelry shops hanging right over the water. If you want the absolute best views, walk just one bridge over, which is where we got all of our pictures. From the river, we slipped into the courtyard of Palazzo Vecchio, which is a hidden gem of intricately carved golden columns, colorful frescoes, and a beautiful central fountain. Stepping back out into the piazza, we stopped at the open-air Loggia de' Lanzi to admire John Bologna's Abduction of the Sabine Women. What's amazing about this is that he carved all 3 twisting figures out of one single solid block of marble. With some time to spare, we had to walk to one of the many leather shops in Florence, where I took way too long choosing a bag to get my initials stamped into. This is my favorite souvenir from this trip, and I use it every single day. If you're in Florence, you've got to go do this. Next up, we made our way to the historic Santa Croce. This place is known as the Pantheon of Italian glories and is the final resting place for some of history's absolute greatest minds, including Galileo, Machiavelli, and Michelangelo, whose tombs sit surrounded by centuries of art history, including the Cavalcanti Annunciation by Donatello. I was most excited to see Michelangelo's tomb, whose body was actually stolen just so he could be buried here in Florence. Michelangelo explicitly stated that he didn't want to be buried in Florence, but the Florentines literally smuggled his corpse out of Rome in a merchandise basket to get him into this church. Me personally, I think he deserved better and to be buried in Rome like he wanted. The most haunting piece here is Cimabue's famous 13th century crucifix. In 1966, a catastrophic flood submerged this cross under 14 feet of muddy water, destroying 60% of its original paint. Restorers left it scarred rather than repainting it, turning a 700-year-old masterpiece into a beautiful, heartbreaking relic of survival. Setting out for a slice of pizza after taking it all in, we stopped to watch this film crew that was set up in the center of Piazza Santa Croce. After a quick spritz and a break at the Airbnb, we wrapped the night with some pasta and wine before heading back to Piazza della Repubblica for some wandering and people watching before bed. Day 3 started bright and early at 8:15 for our entry at the Accademia to meet Michelangelo's David. I've stared at so many pictures of this statue, but nothing could have prepared me for the sheer size of it. Not only was it enormous, but literally every last detail looked like a man turned to stone. What's crazy is how close this statue came to never happening at all. The giant block of Carrara marble was actually abandoned by 2 other sculptors for over 25 years because they thought the stone had too many flaws. Michelangelo took on the imperfect stone when he was just 26. And he didn't carve David inside a museum, it was actually created outdoors near the Duomo, and moving the 6-ton statue took 4 days and 40 men using a complex wooden cage on rolling logs. Be sure not to miss the Gipsoteca Bartolini, a 19th century hall that was set up to perfectly reproduce an old sculptor's studio. After soaking in the Accademia, we made our way to the Boboli Gardens. A lot of my itineraries are jam-packed with lots of timed entries and busy days learning about one place and the next, but one thing I've learned is that setting aside a day or at least some hours for nature really helps improve the pacing of any trip. These gorgeous and incredibly scenic gardens were actually a power move by the Medici family. Built in the 16th century, Boboli essentially invented the Italian grand garden style that later inspired gardens like Versailles. The highlight was definitely the Knight's Garden Terrace, which gave us unobstructed views of Florence. From there, we crossed back over the Ponte Vecchio for the main event, the Uffizi. Having spent months freshening up on my Renaissance art history before this trip made walking through these halls feel like meeting celebrities in real life. Major works included The Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli, Primavera, also by Botticelli, Doni Tondo, The Holy Family by Michelangelo, Annunciation by Leonardo da Vinci, Medusa by Caravaggio, Bacchus, also by Caravaggio, Judith beheading Holofernes by Artemisia Gentileschi, Adoration of the Magi by Leonardo da Vinci, portraits of Federico da Montefeltro and Battista Sforza by Piero della Francesca, The Tribune featuring Medici Venus and the Wrestlers, Cestello Annunciation by Botticelli, Portrait of a Man with a Medal of Cosmo the Elder, also by Botticelli, and Laocoon and His Sons, by Baccio Bandinelli. The last Medici heir, Anna Maria Luisa, signed a pact which donated the entire Uffizi, previously the Medici family art collection, to the city of Florence on one condition: it could never leave the city. That one decision cemented Florence as the art capital of the world. Our last night we spent nearby the Airbnb at the same bar we watched people dancing at the night before. Though totally exhausted, with bags still unpacked for the next city, we ended our visit feeling totally wrapped in romance, beauty, and gratitude for what Florence brought us closest to, a bridge to those that came before us, and shared moments with those living alongside us now. If you stayed till the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our 72 hours in Florence. I've pasted our full itinerary in the description below for you to reference if you're planning your own trip, and can't wait to show you more of the places that we've been since Florence. Coming soon is Scotland, Rome, Germany, and also some domestic locations like the Oregon coast and Carmel by the Sea. If you love travel, art, beautiful things, or making stuff, I think we'd get along just fine, and we'll hope to see you in the next video. Until then, have a great day.